The Great War brought many new weapons to the battlefield. It brought about powerful weapons such as heavy artillery, armed airplanes, machine guns, and armed vehicles. This coincided with the decline of 19th century weapons such as muskets, sabers, lances, bayonets, and swords. Notwithstanding, many weapons, strategies, and logistic militaries used during the Great War continue to impact warfare today. Additionally, technological advancements have helped improve some of the weapons used during the era. For example, armed airplanes were used to attack enemy forces from above and conduct surveillance. Today, militaries use fighter jets and surveillance planes to achieve the same purpose. The evolution of military technology is dynamic. Breakthroughs in new defense systems and weapons are reported to us daily. However, numerous staples of modern military tech have their origins in the Great War. From deadly airplanes to invaluable communication systems have their roots in the First World War. Below is a list of World War I weapons still in use today. The submarine is a byproduct of naval technological advancements during the Industrial Revolution. During the Great War, submarines played a critical role in naval warfare. Before the Germans introduced U-boats in 1906, the US, Russia, Britain, and France already had advanced submarine designs. In the US, for instance, submarines were already in use during the Civil War. The Germans stole the show by installing their long-range U-boats with precision torpedoes. The sinking of the Allied ship HMS Pathfinder by self-propelled torpedoes attests to this. Today, submarines continue to play an important role in naval warfare. Advancements in naval technology have advanced this World War I relic into a formidable weapon with a great capacity to cause destruction. Nuclear submarines are an invaluable part of modern militaries. With a width of 10 meters and a length of 1,150 meters, today's submarines can carry up to 135 soldiers to any destination. Our current submarines have a lifespan of 33 years, and only a few countries have them. Nuclear submarines exist in varied calibers. The U.S. was drawn into the Great War due to torpedo attacks. In 1915, the German U-boat U-20 sank RMS Lusitania. Inside it was 128 Americans. Following this attack, the U.S. declared war on Germany. The Germans were eager to plunge Britain into a food crisis, so they constantly attacked British merchant ships that supplied wartime Britain with food. At the time, torpedoes could be launched from submarines and warships. Later, during World War II, scientists invented torpedoes that could be fired from airplanes. Currently, major advancements have occurred to this weapon. For example, lack of shark advanced torpedoes can attack targets on land and at sea. These deadly weapons can be deployed from submarines or warships and carry fatal doses of explosives. Today's torpedoes can identify targets from great distances. Additionally, they can analyze data and operate on an electrical propulsion mechanism powered by batteries. William Mills invented hand grenades. Initially, they were popularly referred to as pineapple bombs. Hand grenades explode a few seconds after being hurled into a target. These bombs splinter after exploding, causing maximum damage. Soldiers used them to devastate the enemy as far as 100 yards. Both the British and American armies have been using them since 1915. The bomb is a 1.25-pound device armed when the safety pin is removed. Generally, they explode 4 seconds after being lobbed at a target. This makes it impossible for the enemy to catch it and hurl it back to the attacker. This weapon has not changed a lot since its use on World War I battlefields. However, they are deadlier. 2 types of grenades exist: concussion and fragmentation grenades. Concussion helps to enhance the effect of the blast, while fragmentation utilizes metal splinters, shrapnel, for devastation. The M16 fragmentation grenade, for example, can devastate an area within 15 meters. Generally, concussion grenades are lighter compared to fragmentation grenades. The Mk3 grenade, which is loaded with TNT, is so perilous that its fuses are removed before being transported. The U.S. military has been trying to merge three types of grenades to produce a grenade with both fragmentation and concussion effects. Bolt-action rifles. The weapon transcended borders during the Great War. All troops relied on them during the war. The version that British troops used was capable of firing 15 rounds per second. Using this weapon, soldiers in trenches could hit targets up to 1,400 meters away. Versions like the Springfield in the US and Lee Enfields from Britain was extremely popular. Today, these weapons are still an essential item on the battlefield. The M16 was a hot favorite for American soldiers until its replacement by the M4 carbine. The M4 is shorter and lighter and is the new darling of American soldiers. Additionally, it can be fitted with M320 and M203 grenade launchers. The M4 carbine is designed to stun the enemy. It has a firing range of 500 meters and can fire 700 to 950 bullets per minute. Different militaries have their versions of bolt-action rifles. During the Great War, militaries used poisonous gases to devastate their enemies. The effect of the attacks were horrific, as victims suffered slow and painful deaths. The poisonous gas would singe the victim's lungs and skin with fatal consequences. The most powerful chemical weapons belligerents utilized in World War I were mustard gas and chlorine gas. Militaries used these gases to immobilize the enemy temporarily. Unfortunately, ordinary gas masks provided soldiers with no protection against mustard gas attacks. Many soldiers lost their eyesight after mustard gas attacks. The French invented an equally dangerous chemical weapon known as phosgene. While the United States has banned chemical weapons, some militaries continue to use them. In the recent past, deadly chemical agents like sarin have been used in Syria. Sarin is a chemical agent that devastates the neural system. The odorless gas destroys the victim's lungs within a few minutes, guaranteeing death. Mortars. During the Great War, mortars were an essential weapon in trench warfare. Being versatile, soldiers could easily ferry them around. Mortars can be used to target enemies even when they are hiding in their trenches. Mortars of the time could strike targets 1,200 yards away. British mortars were particularly lethal. They could fire 22 shells of 3 inches per minute. These days, these weapons have incredible striking capacity. The 81mm L16 mortar, for example, can carry 4.2 kilogram shells to a distance of 5,000 meters. This weapon was developed by the Canadian and U.S. military and requires 3 soldiers to operate. Additionally, it is fitted with GPS navigation to enhance its accuracy and fires 15 shells per minute. Some mortars can even be used to target submarines. The weapons that have been mentioned above have been utilized in different theaters of war since the Great War. While most of them have become more advanced and lethal, they have their origins in the First World War. A mere glimpse at this arsenal should be enough to persuade our governments to put them away. However, as we speak, wars are erupting everywhere across the globe. One would be forgiven to imagine that humanity is hell-bent on annihilating itself from the face of the earth. Thank you for indulging us in this final World War I series. Share, like, and subscribe to the Liber-Tea channel for more insightful discussions on major historical events. You can also contribute to the discussion by commenting below. Let us know which other World War I weapons are still used today.